All right, everybody. I hope you're having a happy weekend. I just want to get right into this very important question. Is the gamma squeeze Squoze? All right, right before we get in, I just want to tell you I didn't want to miss anything. And so I just wrote down a document and I'm going to read it and probably inject some thoughts of mine. All right, so here we go. Is the gamma squeeze Squoze? Short answer, yes. But please wait for my longer answer, which is, definitely longer. Okay. So, long answer. You can read about the Great Wall of China and see pictures of it online, but I'm guessing that seeing it in person is a much different experience. The same applies to events we have experienced over the last few weeks. I've read enough about gamma squeezes to get a general feel for them, but actually witnessing them happen in real time is going to inform much more of my thinking moving forward than anything I could read in a textbook. This is a unique experience that is causing us to have to make rapid-fire judgments, and sometimes our expectations can be put in the wrong place. The events of January 22nd, last Friday, 8 days ago, which included a rapid explosion in the price towards the end of the day, set a precedent and informed a lot of our thoughts as it should have. But those events didn't tell us the whole story. The difference between last Friday and the events of this week was that the sudden rise pretty much came out of nowhere last Friday, and those who sold calls had to scramble around as much as possible to hedge. That caused the rapid upswing in price. This week, many of us, myself included, were expecting something similar to happen on Friday afternoon. When it didn't happen, we thought maybe after hours. When that didn't happen, we thought, yeah, but it takes 2 business days for option sellers to order the shares, so the gamma squeeze will happen next week. And then what? Before I move further, let me tell you what should have happened. The price of GameStop should have risen dramatically on Friday, triggering gamma squeezes along the way, with heavy rises in the stock price at $570 and at $800, which $570 was the highest priced option you could have bought on Thursday, I believe, and then $800 was the highest priced you could have bought on Friday. If we weren't limited in our ability to buy shares, I'm 100% convinced that those things would have happened on Friday or before. But when buying was manipulated on Thursday and Friday, we needed to adjust our expectations by understanding that gamma squeezes were unlikely to happen at the magnitude that they happened on January 22nd. In other words, when we were limited in our purchases, when we weren't able to purchase shares of the stock at all, there should have been an adjustment in our minds as to what was happening moving forward. But here's the problem. The problem was that we essentially had about 30 hours to process that decision and make that pivot. And I don't really think any of us could have expected to do such a thing, given the drama that unfolded on Thursday and bled over to Friday. I mean, how are we able to process that as we see the price of GameStop drop from $480 a share to $112 a share in a period of 30 minutes? I mean, I know personally for me, my heart was racing. I checked on my Fitbit, 147 beats per minute. It's like, it's not going to be easy to think through those things in real time. And so, here we go. Moving forward, we can take measures to understand a gamma squeeze when we see it. There was a massive gamma squeeze on Monday as the stock rose above $115. Which was the highest price out of the money option available at the time, became in the money, and which caused me personally to FOMO buy at $113 on its way up to $158 before being laddered down to $61 and recovering after that. So I'm going to show that on the chart here. If Papa Musk didn't tweet game stonks on Tuesday night, there would have been another massive gamma squeeze if the price hit $200 during market hours on Wednesday. So $200 was the highest out of the money option you could have bought on Tuesday. And then there was another Gamma Squeeze on Wednesday morning when the price crossed $320 and jumped up to $371. And then Wednesday night, the shenanigans began. And I'd rather skip that part for the sake of my heart. You know what I'm talking about. Throughout the week, I would hang with you all on the live stream. If you were on the live stream, you know, that was a blast, but it was emotionally draining. I'm sure you were able to see that pretty clearly as the hours progressed and we got nearer to the market close at 4 p.m. I would finish the stream and immediately go to bed and crash before being woken up for dinner. And I'm sure several of you were exhausted as well. And then I would sleep, after, in the evenings, after putting my kids to bed, going to bed myself, I would sleep for 3 to 4 hours, wake up, and start the process over again. This weekend has afforded me the ability to take some time and see things more clearly. If I gave you a set of false expectations about what would come on Friday, I am very sorry about that. For this week, it would be helpful to see potential gamma squeezes as missiles instead of nuclear bombs. As the short squeezes, potentially this week, maybe later, I'd love to know your thoughts. It should trigger several rapid-fire gamma squeezes that will send the stock higher in 30-minute periods. The short squeeze will be the nuclear bomb. The gamma squeezes will be smaller blasts. And at this moment, I think it's essential for me to throw out the disclaimer. I say throughout the day on my streams, disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research before investing or making decisions with your hard-earned money. Okay, now, I would like to address a few things that I have seen on the Stonk Report Discord server. If you're not a part of it, the conversation is phenomenal. I would recommend that you join. There's a link in the description of this video. And along with a general taking of the temperature of the retail side of the war that we're in, I took a screenshot of a few comments, and I'd like to address those comments as well as I can without being overly optimistic or pessimistic, just being a realist. And so here's the first comment from Murray, which I believe is a copy pasta from a Reddit post. All right, I'm going to skip that first paragraph there, but it says this. They're also ignoring that there's a massive chunk of GME shares already in the hands of various investment funds. BlackRock and Fidelity own about 30% between themselves. And the idea that the entirety of Wall Street has just sat around and not repositioned themselves this week is nonsense. These guys have access to far more data than we could hope to have, and the ability to execute massive trades out of hours and faster than the average Joe ever could. At best, if this does squeeze again, these people will gain far more, if for no other reason than that they have the ability to react to the latest prices and execute trades far quicker than the average bloke on his smartphone. A lot of retail investors will be left holding the bag, while some funds who managed to turn what was a largely worthless stake in a dying company a fortnight ago into massive gains. Or more likely, it's already squeezed as much as it will do, and we're now just waiting for everyone to realize that and the panic selling stampede to start. Loads of people are getting shafted here, and it's quite sad to see so many people thinking that it's going to be the man. Maybe one fund takes a bath, maybe they even go bankrupt, but the guys working there will get a job at another fund next week. And for every one fund that loses, there are countless others who will now make a killing on the massive increasing in trade volume, or on other options, shorts, or whatever. The Redditors holding the line while their fellow retail investors start to panic out are the ones who are really going to suffer. All right, future Alex here. I just want to address something real quick. The more I've thought about this particular comment, you look at the whole post if you can, and you can see that this is a person who doesn't have much experience in this, who doesn't have much in play, and I think would have the potential to miss the big picture here. And the more I think about it, the more I think that this should not be a cause for FUD. This just reminds me so much of anything you see like this that goes crazy like this. Yeah, there's always going to be some negative Nancy calling it a bubble. And there are bubble-like aspects to it. I mean, when all of your friends are texting you and asking, is it too late for me to get in? That's a very good sign that it's a bubble. But there's something else in play here. And the fact that our hands have been so strong makes me think that there's more movement to go in the upward direction. I think, we all know that this isn't going to stay at $10,000 a share if it gets there. But there are more forces at work. That's my honest opinion on this. Okay, all right, back to the video. I think that spread a lot of FUD in the Discord, and I'm still gauging that not only in the Discord but on Reddit. But if my understanding is correct, that's a bleak outlook, and I'll address this in a few minutes. Here's a comment from Drew. Drew, I spent a good part of last night worrying about the same things you were talking about. But the bull side of the observation, if they were meaningfully profiting from the spike and not worried about their shorts because the squeeze had already happened, or they were confident the price would evaporate back down promptly, then there would be no need for the crazy market manipulation. They would have happily allowed the price to rocket to the moon. I think he meant rocket, with us, profiting along the way, then waiting until it came back down to close their shorts. Instead, they were still going hard in the paint, trying to chat their way out. That means it's not good for them. And I think those are good points by Drew. And then a last comment from Nick G420. Some of you might crucify me for even sharing this, but I'm going to share it because it needs to be said. Concerning the concerns, I've had the position since I got in this that either way I would be exiting with some FOMO. Either I'm going to allow myself to sell short and walk away with far less than I could have, or I'm going to brave it and walk away with far less than I could have, LOL. This whole idea that we're all going to reach this magical point where we all strike it rich is probably not going to happen. We have to realize that sometimes even when you have all the cards and you are destined to win, someone is holding a flush draw and you get killed on the last card. So we all as individuals have to decide what our exit points are that we're comfortable with. Set those sell limits and be content. I can already hear some of your thoughts in your minds, but I'm going to keep going. If you set it at $500 and it goes to $1,000, sure, that would suck. But if you bought at $400 and dropped to $100 while you were holding for $1,000 with no signs of return, that would suck even more. So I think we all need to have that exit number in our heads and stick to it. I'm also all for diamond hands, but don't let any one of us make you feel crappy for making a decision you feel is best for you in your situation, especially that last paragraph. So, yeah, let me continue here. All right, a few thoughts. Let me get the hard words out of the way. For those of you who have gotten to know me, here's what you know. I'm the sole breadwinner in a family of 7. I'm self-employed, and I have almost a decade of experience running businesses and at one point having 25 employees. I'm reminding you of this to point out the fact that I spend very little time thinking about myself and my own needs. This community we have built over the last few days has been unlike anything I've ever been a part of, and my heart is filled with gratitude for all of you. No matter what's coming, I'll never forget this. And as a man who spends a majority of his time thinking about other people, I have been thinking about all of you a lot lately. I hope we strike it rich and celebrate with a mountain of burritos in the Maldives. The reality is that there's going to be some level of regret when this is all said and done. If you're looking to get in and get out and make life-changing money with a once-in-a-lifetime trade, the reality is you're not going to time the peak, and you're either going to regret selling too early or selling too late. No judgment here. If that's true of you, I'm afraid of the possibility of the post Murray shared becoming a reality, and instead of becoming a millionaire, you go broke. Please be sober-minded of this possibility moving forward. Nobody knows with 100% certainty what is coming over the next few days and possibly weeks. You need to make your own decisions and be willing to live with the results, no matter how this turns. I'm also trying to get a pulse for the morale of our team here. Our team not only being the Stonk Report Discord server, but Reddit Wall Street Bets as well. Going to Reddit throughout the week only strengthened my resolve. I would sort by new on the GME threads in the live stream during ladder attacks and see no one budging. It was like Rocky music to me. This isn't a statement in any direction, but I'm wondering what the weekend is going to do as the other side has time to plot against us. Will we remain strong? Will there be infighting? Will the tide turn? And if so, how much of that is the other side trying to stir up strife? I'd love to know your thoughts here. With all of that being said, wait, actually, before I say this part, this is an ongoing process for me throughout this weekend. I didn't go in the GME thread. I don't even know on Reddit if there is a GME thread. I have been very busy, but I did go in a daily discussion thread. And I'm just trying to make sense of what I'm seeing there. I'm seeing a lot of complaints about bots, about spamming. And I don't know. I'm still trying to make sense of that. If you want to help me out there in the comment section of Reddit or of the video or on the Discord server, please let me know your thoughts. What is your feel of morale? That matters. Generally, my opinion is that our morale is still very strong. But what do you think? With all that being said, I truly believe in the fundamentals of our position. I will not sell. And some of you might question, do I really mean that when I say it? Let me soften my approach by laying out 3 scenarios of if/when I sell. 1, I will sell after GameStop sells, explanation needed. There's a scenario where this tanks the hedge funds, this tanks, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the ones above them. The clearinghouses, and this tanks the banks, and we have a situation exactly like 2008 where somebody has to come in and bail everybody out, bail Wall Street out. And so I see 2 scenarios. 1, GameStop doing the bailout and profiting fantastically by selling their shares and potentially turning that into the video game empire of the world, which I would be all for. Or 2, the government stepping in and bailing them out. Now, this is the most bullish scenario as far as the stock price is concerned. That may not happen at all, but that's what I mean by I will sell after GameStop sells. Not saying that they're going to sell, and definitely not saying that they're going to sell anytime soon. Number 2, I will sell after every last one of you sells. My resolve is to be the most diamond-handed person as far as the Discord server is concerned, out of all of you. And so if some of you have a mentality of like, I am literally never going to sell, well, you know what? I will never sell. And that's scenario number 3. I will never sell. I've shared with you my positions, my thoughts on the cause. I've never been a Occupy Wall Street type who goes out and sings lullabies in front of, big buildings in New York City and sleeps in tents. I have better things to do with my time. But this is the kind of cause that I can get behind. And I want to see it through. So, anyway, I believe the squeeze has not squoze yet. I believe that the short float is an indicator that Armageddon is still coming. And I believe that the power of our diamond hands is going to force this price much higher. And once again, disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research before investing your hard-earned money or making decisions, in this case, with the hard-earned money that you invested. See you Monday. Much love to you all.